Go.
Hi there. Before I start, I'd like to tell you a little story, a funny little story. My wife and I, Lillian, have just returned from England. We were there for 6 weeks. While we were over there, I took the same train ride to Llanelli that I'd taken some 69 years ago. This time, of course, it was a lot quicker and a lot more comfortable. We visited Ian and Pat Williams. Pat was his wife. Ian's the youngest son of the last family I was evacuated with. We found ourselves later on at the Llanelli Regional Library. That was to meet up with the Welsh Minister of Education, Mrs. Howe. Now, understand, I did not have the best education. When I was introduced to a teacher, it was usually for the purpose of them introducing me to their cane. But to give you an idea how poorly educated some of the children were, I'd like to tell you this quick little story. A group of evacuated kids from one of the poorest areas were taken to a place run by a Catholic church. The priest talking to them one day, the kids were like 6 to 12 years of age, and they were all sitting cross-legged in a circle. And he asked them this question. He said, "Who knows Jesus Christ?" There was a stony silence for a while until one little 6-year-old at the front pipes up and says, "Well, I don't know him, but I can tell you he doesn't live by us."
That's great. Let me ask you this. What drove you initially to write the book?
My daughter's idea, really. She told me one day that I should put all the evacuation stories which she knew about from a child down on paper so they wouldn't be forgotten. I could pass on to my grandkids.
Did you expect it to be published at the time, or was it just for the family?
No, it was just for the family. That was all.
And how did it come to get published? Who sent it to the publisher?
My wife sent it to the publishers. It laid in a drawer for a while, the manuscript. I didn't know it was going to get published. I didn't think it was going to get published, but she sent it to a publisher in England.
And it was published in what year?
2005, October 2005.
And it had you had the hardback edition, and then
there's a hardback edition and a paperback. It sold very, very well there.
Yeah. And now it's being released in the United States, yeah?
Yes, there's a publisher in the United States likes it very much, and it's been published here, and it was released on August the 1st this year.
And that one has a little bit more content in it, doesn't it? A
lot more content. They did a better job than they did in England, actually.
Okay. And how would you summarise your time in Llanelli? When you were in quite a few billets, weren't you?
How would I summarise my time in Llanelli? It was a very traumatic time. That's what you mean.
Yeah.
I was taken away from mother at 6 years of age. Thought she was trying to get rid of me, actually.
Yeah.
So it was a very, as I say, traumatic time, not just for me, for many of other kids.
Yeah. But you went through several different billets, didn't you?
Yeah, actually 6 altogether. Most of them stayed in the one billet. I moved around quite often and ran away from 3 of them because I wanted to find a better place. A couple of them were treating me a little bit badly.
Were you a bit mischievous?
Yeah, I was.
Were you?
It's a survival thing, I think.
Bit of a monkey, really.
Yes, I suppose.
Okay. Now, I've heard something about there's a possibility that this book's going to be made into a movie. Is that true?
Yes, I've been told that several times. But wife and I and Debbie, my daughter, have been over to Los Angeles recently to meet up with a production company there, and they've got a lot of interest in it.
Excellent. And is it true also that there's another book in the works?
Yes, I'm doing a sequel to the first one. 70% there, so I should have that finished by the end of the year, I think.
Where does that pick up?
It starts from 1945, where the other one ended, goes through to the 1970s.
And during that time, there were a lot of things, weren't there, that happened to you, that you've always said that what happened to you while you were in Llanelli really made you the man you are today.
Yes, it did. It's a survival thing, I suppose.
Yeah.
Made to think that way.
When you got back, did you find you applied that as you
Yes,
became an adult?
I did, yeah. And I think it's probably the reason why I started my own business, because of that. I would think so. Anyway, I did have a serious sorry,
What, a bit of a complex?
Complex, yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word.
That's all right.
Serious inferiority complex due to the evacuation, and it forced me to get somewhere in life, I suppose.
So what doesn't stop you in life makes you stronger then?
No, it made me a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Definitely
I
made
didn't
you...
want to give up.
Uh-huh. So you became more determined.
Very determined, yeah.
Yeah.
To make something of myself.
How long did you run that business for?
36 years.
Wow.
And I sold it and came to live in America.
Uh-huh. Now, you met Ryan and Pat one time when they were in America, didn't you?
Yeah, they were visiting their daughter in places outside Canada. I don't think Vermont, I think it was. And we went over there to meet up with them.
So you've kept in touch with Ryan and Pat all these years?
They were the last family I was evacuated with, the longest I stayed with. Became very attached to the family, and yeah, I do keep in touch.
Uh-huh. And that's who you were staying with while you were down there to receive the award?
Yes, just the last few weeks.
Uh-huh.
That's where I've been. And as you say, to accept this award, quite shocked me really. I didn't know what was going on there. It was Reed's campaign that they've been doing for the last few months, and fortunately I won it by 87%, they tell me.
So you're a bit surprised by that?
Very surprised.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll end it here for today. But
Okay.
Did you want to say a couple of words to the people in Llanelli that are at the event tonight? And Gary Nichols?
Yeah, Gary Nichols, I do really appreciate them holding this event. Especially like to thank Gary Nichols, especially for that little read he did for me of the book, with his nice Welsh accent. I think he made a great job of that.
So we wish everybody enjoys the rest of the evening, and thank you very much.
Thank you.